a cop decides to falsify at least 30 traffic stops that never happened. Falsified all of it from top to bottom. Let's put up a picture of this former police officer. Former police officer arrested last week, created more than 30 fake traffic violations over the span of about 4 months. Remember, he did this in a span of 4 months, according to the warrant for his arrest. His name is Edgar Gonzalez, 31 years of age, of Stamford. Resigned in June after an investigation into his traffic stop reports yielded evidence that he fabricated 33 traffic violations between February and April 2021, according to the warrant. Mr. Gonzalez, a Stamford resident, was charged last week with 5 counts of third-degree computer crime and 5 counts of second-degree forgery, according to the state judicial database. Officer Gonzalez, who was a 5-year veteran of the department's patrol division, has been released after posting a $100,000 bond. He is scheduled to be arraigned on Friday. So let me give you some background to this. Now, I want to remind you that this cop was allowed to do this because of a system in place that gives officers too much damn power. And I'm also going to make a connection here between policy and people that has been underreported in this story. So the investigation began last May after a person contacted the police when they discovered a Google alert. The Google alert showed their name was included on the department's website for being issued a traffic warning. The warrant stated, a Google alert is an email a user receives based on keywords like their name that they want to be notified about when it's posted online, okay? Real simple process. Google has a system that says, hey, if these names pop up, send me an email, let me know. A lot of people use it to protect their own name as well as the names of people in their families, friends, etc. All right, very commonly used program. So all of a sudden, this person gets a Google alert saying, hey, your name's on this website. Your name's on this website because they're saying that you have a traffic ticket and you may get a warrant for your arrest if you do not make your court date appearance. The male victim said he was never stopped by a Norwalk police officer and never was issued a warning. Detective Sergeant Leung wrote in the warrant, a further review of Gonzalez's computer aired dispatch, CAD they call it. That activity for that day showed that Officer Gonzalez self-reported a total of 10, count them, 10 traffic stops, okay? So he's super cop, which included 10 e-ticket warnings, but not the issuance of any actual infractions. So here's the game, all right? He's making it look like he's doing work. He's not actually pulling anyone over. He's not actually at these stops. He's simply in front of a computer. It gets deeper. The log says the man was stopped April 21st, which the victim said was not possible as he was ill at that time and remained in a hotel in Norwalk for a 3-day period, according to the warrant. Each city police vehicle is equipped with a mobile data terminal, and officers are required to include in traffic reports the motorist driver's license number, car make and model, registration information, traffic stop location, and time, and the road and traffic conditions at the same time, according to the warrant. However, many of this officer's stops, self-reported traffic violations were incomplete, missing driver's license numbers, races, and the gender, the warrant stated. I also saw the same pattern where the citation information is incomplete, where the sex, race, operator number, and involvement information is incomplete, Young wrote in the warrant. Additionally, officers all have access to the Connecticut Online Law Enforcement Communications Teleprocessing System, which allows them to run a license plate and driver's license numbers, according to the warrant. No body camera footage exists of any of the noted traffic stops, And in some cases, the officer's vehicle showed he was not at the location of the stop at the times indicated on his reports. That's in the warrant as well. Now, here's the system that allowed for all of this to happen. It's called Collect, COLLECT. By using the Collect database to falsify traffic stop information, Gonzalez violated its training and use policy, which resulted in the computer crimes charges and warrant stated. The state's preliminary findings were shared with the Stanford State's attorney, who called for a criminal investigation. The local police spokesperson said, Sergeant Sofia Golano said Gonzalez resigned from the department amid the probe in June. Now, they knew he was guilty already. So let me bring to your attention a few things here. Number one, there should be no policy that creates this kind of power for a police officer without there being a real check and balance. Number two, if a cop has this much power to where they can literally sit in front of a computer and create false tickets, there needs to be a routine audit process so that abuses like this do not happen. Number three, this is why folks say defund the police. You know why? Because money went to that system from taxpayers. The money that paid for that system and paid the salary of that cop was used to create victims out of citizens who were completely innocent. So here's what defund the police says. It doesn't say take all money from law enforcement, but it does say you have some unnecessary programs, damn it. That's unnecessary. Take the money out of that unnecessary program and put it into a program that actually creates common decency and respect between cop and community. This program does not. It is harassing. It has shown you exactly what it has the capability of doing. And while yes, the person who did this is corrupt, but there's a system that created the atmosphere for his corruption. Attorney, what are your thoughts here?
I think you are absolutely right. You hit the nail on the head in terms of needing oversight. Also, in addition to essentially creating this system that allows officers to abuse their power. You know, when we look at what are the consequences of things like this, because people might just think, oh, it's just a traffic ticket. Well, there are fines that come from that. Losing your license, suspension, how would that impact your job? Increased insurance premiums, all of these things that essentially this officer has unrestrained control over, and he's out here just having a good time. And essentially the system is allowing it and enabling it. And you're absolutely right in terms of reducing funding, because we don't need systems like this in place. Even the fact that officers are conducting traffic stops, it just speaks to what is truly the value of this, especially given all of the areas in our society that need greater funding, such as education, and where we need to truly be putting our resources. But I am very glad that this man is being prosecuted, especially for as high a crimes as computer fraud and whatnot, because that needed to happen.
Yeah, and when you look at municipalities, you know this, Adrienne, municipalities are allowed to do so many things that really would violate the conscience of a human being. They can have quotas, they can have grants or grant money based on contact with community, meaning you gotta have a certain number of pullovers per hour in order to get grant money. That's insane. That has nothing to do with justice. And so these programs all are aimed at a bottom line, which literally is money. But this guy think he was doing it to somehow get a promotion and increase status at the department.